So I'm reading this book. It's a really good business book, and a friend of mine gave it to me. If you want to give me a gift, give me a book, right? I love to read. But in the book, the author is talking about the difference between activity and productivity. And we've all heard that conversation before. I've even talked on it before, the difference between being busy and being productive. But I think we can look at it today because I looked at this and I asked myself, well, what is it that causes me to want to be productive? Like, what's the thinking? What's the why behind it all? And the difference between activity and productivity is that activity is where you just go through the motions, you do your thing. Maybe you go to your job, you get your paycheck, and that's all good. Like if that's what you're doing, that's awesome. Many people don't do that. But you're doing that, and that's activity. But productivity is where you're going to your job, you're taking on your business, your role, and you're thinking, how can I be better at what I'm doing? Being very intentional, being very mindful, so that you can scale, so that you can grow, so that you can add more value to where you are, and then have promotion come to you, meaning you create space to go to the next level. I think if we continue doing what we've always done with the same mind, same thinking, and we don't stretch ourselves, we're not being very productive. I think we're not using the resources that we have, and I don't think we're using them very well, especially our mind. I think your mind, my mind, I think it has so much greater capacity than we oftentimes give it credit for. And I heard somebody say that you're smarter than you thought. And I believe that to be very true. And so we don't want to just go through the activities. We want to be productive. And so in looking at this, as I said, I wanted to think about things that caused me to want to be more productive and scale my business, grow my business. Because there's a big difference between working your business and growing your business. Working your business would be serving the clients that you have, and that be enough, right? Growing your business, not just working it, growing your business, building your business, that's where you're serving your clients, but you're also doing the thing that you do to expand so that a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're not on the same level. And that to me is what being productive is all about. And so what really has inspired me to want to be productive? Like, what's the why behind it all? Well, the first thing I think when I think of what inspires me is that I've seen a lot of pain. And I say that because I've noticed dysfunction in relatives, I've noticed dysfunction in friends, people that I have known, and there's just things that are elements that I believe cause a lot of pain in a person's life or in a family's life or in a group of people's life if they're not willing to confront whatever the underlying thing is. And I don't believe that that means any of us are perfect by any means. I just mean that if we want to move our life forward, there are going to be things that if we don't confront it, we will wind up carrying around in our backpack our whole life. And it will be the thing that weighs us down and ultimately gives us an excuse to not have to be our best. And I think being our best means that we eliminate some of the things that have been holding us back for so long because we're willing to confront it, at least go after it head on. And for me, what inspires me is the idea that some of the tools that I share and some of the things that I offer people in our trainings and the resources that we have and through our videos helps people to shift their mindset very subtly even. It doesn't have to be an overnight change, but it's very subtle sometimes to where a person approaches a situation that maybe used to have a hold on them. Now they're approaching it with a greater mind. And I believe that, as you've probably heard it before, as Albert Einstein said, he said, if you want to solve a new problem, you have to bring a new mind to it. You can't keep thinking about it the same way you've always thought about it. So you can't think about your finances the exact same way you've always thought about your finances. You can't think about opportunity the same way you've always thought about opportunity. You have to believe for more. You've got to look for resources, right? You can't think about your health the same way you've always thought about it, because if you keep thinking the same thoughts, you're going to do the same thing, you're going to feel the same way, and that becomes your reality. And so for me, what inspires me is knowing that there's so much pain out there. There's so many people that are struggling. And I really love people. If you know me, if you've ever been around me and we've spent time together, you know that I just care about people. I want people to smile. I want people to laugh. I love that. And in doing that, it has helped me navigate some things that were programs that I developed throughout my life, through my 44 years, that in some ways held me back and caused me to not believe maybe the best for me. And that's always a work, right? But it has to be taken on. And so when I think of what inspires me in this type of information and what we call this type of work, it's knowing that there's pain out there. It's knowing that people are struggling. And a lot of times when people don't confront what they're struggling with, other people will pay for it. And so if I don't get control of my emotional state and I lose my temper all the time and I carry around just this negative, toxic, depressed, angry, whatever it might be, energy, my kids, my team, the people I'm around, they're going to pick up on it. They're going to pay for it, right? Like if I don't feel like I'm open, compassionate, and ready to serve or do something for other people, then I'm going to rip other people off. Now, you might, I know this isn't you, but some people might say, well, Ronnie, what's the big deal? Aren't you just supposed to worry about yourself, take care of you? And yeah, you are supposed to take care of you. I don't know why I did that voice that I just did, but you do take care of you. But you've also got to be aware that your behavior, your attitudes, your actions impact other people on ways that you may never know. So check yourself and work on you so that you're better for other people. Because it's very selfish to think that how you are, your negativity, your toxicity, if you have that or a person has that, to think that that doesn't impact other people a lot. Because people are looking to you to influence them, whether you like that or not. Whether you want to admit that or not, there are people that are looking to you, and you are a leader. And so we want to look at that. And so for this idea of being productive, what inspires me? Pain. Another thing that has inspired me in my life has been hard work. Like watching my dad, watching my mom, my wife's side of the family. My wife and I have been together almost 16 years. Watching her side of the family. They work hard. Like seeing people that work hard, that's inspiring to me. Because I think you can't expect to keep getting if you won't give. I think you can't keep expecting to take if you haven't made any deposits or any investment. Like at some point, you got to go, hey, I'm going to get out what I'm putting in and do the work. And some people don't want to do the work. Our society now breeds people that just don't want to do the work. They're shortcutting everything, and that's cool. Don't get me wrong. Yes, there are benefits to looking for shortcuts and being clever and all of that. That's how innovation happens. That's how technology gets developed. It's making certain things easier to have happen, more efficient. But listen, that doesn't mean that everything that we do, we need to be looking for shortcuts on how we can get the most out without putting anything in. And you probably know that, but I think it's a good reminder. But watching people work hard. My dad was a brick mason. Man, I'm telling you, the guy worked hard. He was up early. He stayed out late. He'd come in, and he was dirty. He had been doing the work all day. He'd be covered in dirt. I went with him a lot of times when I was growing up in high school and spent time with him. It was hard work. My dad was a brick mason. My grandfather was a brick mason. My uncles, my dad's brothers, they worked hard. Like I saw it. And I chose this profession because it was kind of like calling me. And I saw the impact that I could make. And, I've worked hard at it. But that means sometimes being up earlier than everybody else and staying in it, staying longer than everybody else would, having 16, 18-hour days, which I have those days. And it means putting everything you've got into it. But when you get around somebody that will work it and works hard, that's inspiring. Or at least it is for me. My friend Bart took me to the Kid Rock Hank Williams Jr. concert a couple months ago, and I saw both of them, Hank Williams Jr. and Kid Rock, come out when they were doing their sets. They came out and destroyed it. Like Kid Rock worked that platform. Not only is he an incredible musician, the dude worked it hard. It was awesome to watch. And I told my friend Bart, and I said, Bart, that guy works hard. He's like, yeah, man. He said he gets after it. And that's how you become iconic, if that matters to you. And you might not care about being iconic, but for me, I don't want to be an icon. I want to be the person. I just want to carry the information and get ideas out there because I'm going to die at some point. But ideas don't die. They can carry on. And you can remember that. And hopefully that inspires you to work hard, share what you've learned, your wisdom and your insight. That inspires me, seeing people that will do that. They take what they do very seriously and are looking to do what they do to help other people. That inspires me. Another thing that inspires me is somebody who's just generous. Generous. I'm talking about somebody that will serve and do something for you without an expectation of return, that you will do for someone else without expectation of return. And I'm not even talking about direct or indirect return. I'm talking about period. Now, some people might say, well, you're stupid for sowing seed or doing something not expecting a return. Well, yeah, that's true. I know that the universe rewards us. The principles and the laws of the universe reward us, reaping and sowing. I've got it. But there's something really powerful about somebody that will just serve other people and do something at some point without thinking of themselves. Generosity, it's huge. My friend Joel Bennett that used to co-host a podcast with me, he's traveling now, and Joel is one of the most generous people I know. Like if I said, Joel, I need to move some boxes, Joel would be at my house with an SUV with a trailer behind it and like, let's move some boxes. He's a generous person. And that's impacted me in such a positive way. He's such a great husband. He's a great dad to his sons. It's awesome. I see that and I'm like, that's cool. That's awesome. I think we all need to be more that way. And so being generous, when a person's really generous with their resources, their time, their energy, to me, and that inspires me. And then the last thing, and we'll be done here today, and I got something I want to tell you. It's really exciting. Last thing that really inspires me is courage. Courage inspires me. When someone, not just like a first responder or a law enforcement person or anything like that, like that's courageous. That's obvious. The other side of courage that inspires me also is when a person is willing to make moves in their life, make moves in their business, right? To stretch, to do something that maybe is not so familiar, that is so guaranteed, that they break out of the form, out of the ritual, out of the pattern that maybe they've had, and be willing to do some things differently. To me, that's courage. I love seeing that. That's inspiring. You know, Jen and I moved about 2 months ago from Nashville, Tennessee to Scottsdale, Arizona. And for those of you that have cared and wanted to know how we're doing, that I haven't talked to directly, it's been amazing. Like, it's been great for our soul. I promise you, for my soul. I sit out back, I look at the stars, Addison, Kennedy, Jen, they come sit with me at night. We sit by the pool, we look up, the views are incredible. It's been good for me. It's been therapeutic for me. I'm pouring out all the time. It's been neat to have a place that I could sit and really get quiet and decompress. Look at the stars, being reminded of what a big picture there is out there. And we made that move. But I can tell you, it was scary. It wasn't familiar. Like, we moved out here and we left what we had there. We were closer to family there, closer to many of our friends there. It wasn't easy, but you know, it's been worth it. And I think anything that we want to really enjoy, anything that's going to really fulfill us, takes some courage. It means breaking out of what might be the norm. It's doing something that's a little different. It's fighting not only the devil that we know, it's being willing to fight one that we don't know. Either way, you're going to have to fight the devil, so to speak. But I think it's realizing that if you want something good, you're going to have to stretch. Like, we just refuse. My wife Jen and I, we talk about it all the time. We just refuse to die with the same mindset, the same beliefs, in the same place that we started. And it's not that that's bad, I don't guess. It's not a judgment. But what we've decided for us is that we're not going to stay in that same place. And so these ideas that really inspire me, there's many more. I could give you examples of people that just inspire me to want to be more productive, like what we're talking about. And we may do that. But I just want you to know that there's work to be done. And there's a difference between just going through the motions of activity and being productive. You don't have to do it every single day and be perfect at it, but just be aware. Don't get those two confused and do things that are going to put you in a place where maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, 6 years from now, right? You'll be in a better spot, having more of the life that you've designed. Not one that just by default that you get, but one by design. I think that's important. I know you have the capacity to do that. I think you'll feel good about doing that. And as you do it, I think you're in a better space to make a more positive impact in the lives of other people, if you choose to. So this is Ronnie Doss. Last thing, I said there was an announcement. We're changing the name of the podcast. Isn't that exciting? Like a Doss was such an awesome thing. We derived that obviously from Like a Boss. We did Like a Doss, but where we are now, we feel like this new name for the podcast is more in alignment with the teachings that we have, the resources, the coaching programs, the day trainings that we're doing. And by the way, we're doing a day training on December 13th in Phoenix, Arizona. December 13th in Phoenix, Arizona, all-day training. That's a Friday. It's called our Emerge event, and that's actually what we're calling the new podcast. So the new podcast, instead of Like a Doss, it's now the Emerge podcast. It'll be the same. Find it in the same spot, Ronnie Doss, all that stuff. But we're shifting that. And the reason for it is we believe that all of us need to be emerging from a place we were, thinking that we used to have, places that we once lived, in a sense that these things that were comfortable for us, where we might have been hanging out or staying for really long, we're going to emerge out of that. We emerge out of challenges and difficulty. When we face adversity, we're emerging out of that into a new form, into a new mind, new thinking, new beliefs, new person, That's what this is all about. And so I hope you're excited. We're excited about it. And I thank you guys so much for listening and sharing this. Last month, we broke all the records that we've ever had for downloads. They are spiking. They're going up. You wouldn't believe how many people are sharing this. So if you're getting anything out of this, please share this. And if you want any more of our resources, the video stuff that we offer, all that's on ronniedoss.com. So thank you guys so much. It's awesome talking to you. I appreciate who you are. I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care.